What is up, guys? Welcome back to the vlog after a long time for being away. I'm in a different casino. I'm in the Encore in Boston. We were on our honeymoon. And yeah, it was pretty exciting. But anyways, this first hand, a player had bet 10 pre-flop, and I made the call, and there was some dead money out there, so that's why the pot's 24. I've got middle pair and some really great turn cards. So he makes it was a $10 to $15 bet on the flop. I believe it was 10, and I'm gonna make the call here. Not looking to do anything crazy, but yeah, me and my wife were enjoying our honeymoon, and I was able to go visit. And there's an ace on the turn, and I should say that the player was a little bit crazy. I think he was pretty bluffy, so I actually choose to bluff on this. I put I believe it was a $20 bet on the turn, which is a little bit less than half pot size bet, repping this ace. And interesting, he just decides to call. I feel like an ace, given that he was a little bit wild, he would have chose to maybe bluff or whatever. Sorry, I made it 25, I guess. So yeah, pot's 104. He checks to me, and now that the 5 is out there, spades came in. What else can I really get called by? I decide just to check back, which I probably should be actually putting in a bluff here. But I take my showdown, which is third pair. So I check, and he says that I'm good, and I win this first hand. So yeah, pretty cool to win it here. But yeah, it was the Encore Boston on a Saturday night, and I was very lucky that my wife gave me. She said I can have the whole night, but I decided just to play for an hour and a half, and yeah, this is the first hand from that session. So yeah, looking forward to a great Saturday night, obviously. But yep, win the first hand, and now to the next one. All right, so now the second hand of the night, pocket nines. I was in the middle position, and unfortunately no filming at the Encore, so that's why you're seeing the still footage. But yeah, I'm got pocket nines. I'm at a fairly, not really splashy table, but there's a couple action players. I bet 15, I get one call, and I get a beautiful flop of Queen 9-7, unfortunately all hearts. So yeah, flopping middle set here could be a little bit weird. I'm in position though. He checks to me, and I'm the pre-flop aggressor, but I have a strong hand, and we're gonna charge all one pair hands with a heart, all naked ace of hearts or king of hearts. He doesn't have an overpair or set of queens here just because he would have raised pre-flop. So yeah, I would definitely think I have the strongest hand here. So I'm gonna make a bet of $15. And I made a bet of $20, and he made a call, making it 74, and the turn is the 10 of clubs. Now, I could still be getting value here, but the 10 of clubs makes it a very, very strong, or very, very connected board. I guess he could have had queen jack, or he could have had king queen, or maybe, I don't know. I should be betting here, but he checks to me, and I don't know. I can be getting called by a lot, and I mess up, and I check back, and I immediately regret it when the river is the 10 of spades, not giving me a full house. So now no flush is going to call, but it gets a little bit weird here. He ends up leading into me for 45, and I think that he actually is doing this with just a queen, never an overpair, obviously. He probably thinks he's good, and I regret it because I feel like if I had just put a bet out on the turn, we probably could be getting stacks in by the river. Obviously going to put in a raise here now that I have a full house, hoping that he had flopped a flush. That would have been awesome. Very unlikely, but I raised to 150, which the pot was 109 after he put his bet. So now it sits at 269. So yeah, I put those extra words up there just so that way I could say it's an extra 105 for him to call to win a pot of 100 or 374. So I feel like I'm giving him a great price to bluff catch. He decides not to, and he folds, and I win. All right, so we won that hand. I'm about up 150, and this is the last hand that I want to talk about. I wasn't even in it, but this is the craziest hand I've ever seen. So I think there was a pre-flop better, but the flop was 3-4-6. Rainbow board, So keep that in mind. 3-4-6. Remember, I'm not in this, and the way that it goes is the player that had raised pre-flopped, he was on the button, so it went check, 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 and the button is going. He was going to put in a bet, I guess, but the dealer accidentally decided to put a turn out way too quickly, and the button player, who's the pre-flop aggressor, says, I was going to bet. The dealer then, I guess he thought he had checked, but the floor has to get called over. Pot's not too crazy. Pot's probably about $60 or $70. But yeah, the turn was the 7 of diamonds. But like I said, dealer had dealt it early, and the button player who raised preflop said, I was going to bet. Floor gets called over, and he he said he makes a ruling, and what he does is he ends up just kind of they decide they're going to keep the 7 of diamonds exposed, but they just move it over. Like physically, they move over the board. And because of this, I guess they didn't want to change the whole hand. So here's what I text. So yeah, Floyd came over and said, go back to flop action. Button would then bet $25. Middle position calls, and the cutoff, who says, well, I got screwed, and he folds and he walks away. So he loved the 7 of diamonds, and he says, I got screwed, walks away. He was an action player. He's pissed. And like I said, they slide over the 7, and then the new turn is the 3 of diamonds, which I'm putting up there now. So that's the board. It paired the board, and the action on the turn goes bet for 30 and another call by middle position. Dealer grabs the 7 of diamonds, puts it back in the deck, because that's what I guess they said happens. And that's true. They shuffle it, and the new river is the 7 of diamonds. So yeah, crazy that essentially all of that craziness and nothing would have changed. Like nothing actually would have changed. Instead, in this scenario, the 7 of diamonds would have been the turn. The 3 would have been the river. But yeah, as soon as that 7 of diamond comes out, middle position lead jams, and the button snap folds. So just an insane hand. Really crazy, crazy hand. So yeah, that was a crazy hand. But now we're in New Hampshire. So the first night was at Boston. It was a Saturday. Now I'm at the Brook. It's a Friday night here at the Brook, or Saturday night. It actually was a week later. It was Saturday at the Brook. The Brook's in New Hampshire. So yeah, it's pretty cool getting to play in these two different places. And here we go. So we're at the Brook. I've got ace-8 offsuit. What you should know is my table here is not as splashy as the first night, and I'm probably the youngest person here by a good 30 years. So to give you an idea, some more tighter ranges for sure. Flop is ace, queen, 7. It was a straddled pot. There's 3 other players in here. I flopped top pair of the week kicker. I'm not going to do anything too crazy. So there was just a small bet of $5. And yeah, it's 1-2. So I guess that makes sense why it's only 5, 2.5 bigs. So yeah, I'm just going to make the call here. And now I think I have the best hand. Turns an 8 of spades, putting a flush draw out there. And yeah, I make 2 pair. So player's going to bet for 10, which is 3/3 of pot size bet. I probably should raise here with my 2 pair. The fact there's a lot of draws to get called, there's a lot of draws that I could get called better by. But I wanted to keep, I guess, any bluffs in, but they're never bluffing here. So when they make it 10, I should probably raise it to 30. I decide just to call here, and yeah, we have everything. We have a boat. The river is ace of diamonds. He's going to end up checking, and I end up betting for 35, which I wish I had just put in a bet on, or I wish I put in a raise on the turn. I didn't, and unfortunately, he's going to find the fold, and I show because there's a high hand promotion, and yeah, my ace is full of 8s. Is going to go on for the high hand promotion, and of course I'm good. He shows queen 7, so he had 2 pair on the flop. Really crazy that he didn't actually size up on the turn. So I think this hand is just played very poorly by both of us, and yeah, I get on the high hand at least. So yeah, next hand to know, I've got queen 10 of hearts. No, I should say there is one whale at the table. of with all these type players. There's one whale, and he's, like I said, he's still 30 years older than me. Didn't matter though. But yeah, I've got Queen 10, and it was a limped pot, 6 players limped. I have top pair of the Queen Kicker. I just playing very poor poker. Not a huge pot. I put out a bet of $7, and the whale does end up calling, which is really, really cool. But guys, I think Queen 10 is probably never, it's probably just a limp, but for 1-2, I guess you could mix in a raise. But turn is the ace of spades, so very bad turn. Very, very, very bad turn. But there's $40 in the pot, so I guess maybe there's one more caller. Maybe there's one more caller or something. But yeah, he checks to me, and when he checks here, I'm thinking that I'm probably still good, I guess. Maybe he doesn't have anything crazy when he checks to me. So I put out another bet. I believe on this street I bet for 20. Sorry, I guess it was 15. But I bet for 15. 9 of hearts comes out, so I still have second paired. And he this time is weird. He leads into me for 40. What does he have? I figured an ace would have bet, ace of clubs would have bet. So maybe I thought he was repping missed clubs, and he was just making a move to bluff at it. So I actually tanked here, and it's weird. It's only $70 pot. 40 is it's half pot size bet, so not too big relative to the size of the pot. I end up calling it off, and he shows me ace deuce. So yeah, he is a whale, but he gets max value there. All right, guys, now probably the worst hand of poker I've ever played. So if you're watching this in your living room while eating dinner, definitely put down the fork and watch the worst hand of poker played. I have kings. I raised $25. There was a $5 straddle for this 1-2 game. I raised $25 because earlier, I had same kind of scenario. I had kings. I had raised like 15 and everyone folded. Because of the straddle, I can size up, but this time I get 4 callers. So yeah, pot's 126. I'm sitting probably about 200, 250 effective. There's a lot of things I can do here, but the whale had donked into me I thought it was 35. It was actually only 25, so terrible, terrible. I just decided to call, as does the under the gun player. So what you should know is the whale is obviously the whale. He's betting, he had donked when he had made top pair. Like, he had done that all night, so that's why I just called. And I thought it was 35, so I figured the under the gun would have folded. But he had called. So yeah, really weird spot here. The top card on the board pairs, and I don't like it. I figured the whale, he ends up betting another 50, and I tank, At this point, I'm just misplayed. I probably could jam. I decide to fold, and the under the gun calls. So now there's 301 in the pot. Like I said, I'm out of there. The flushes miss, but really weird. The under the gun now lead jams, and he's a super, super tight player. The whale, who was crazy. I saw the whale fold the second nuts at one point. So when he bets into me for 50, I only put him on trips. So I'm thinking, oh my God, is this a trips versus trips scenario? And no, the whale folds, and the under the gun only shows the jack of diamonds. So what in the world just happened here? Did I just fold the best hand to like ace jack of diamonds? Because the whale ends up showing pocket nines, and I'm automatically sick. I get up from the table. But after I really think about this, I think there's a really good chance that under the gun just had pocket jacks and decided to flat, because a lot of players do that in these low stakes. I should be jamming, I think. Even though if it is pocket jacks, it's a boat, and I would have lost. Not to be results oriented, I think I should just jam on the flop. And yeah, like I said, middle position showed nines, and I hate how I played it. So what do you think? Did I make a terrible fold? If I'm being results oriented and I really think that under the gun had jacks, I guess I save money. Or should I just be jamming kings no matter what on the flop or on the turn? You tell me, but like I said, my read was that one of them was on a flush draw. The other, like the MP had 7, like 7-8 off or 6-7 off. I guess 6-7 would have been 2 pair, so maybe it was 7-8 or 7-9. But you tell me what you think. I think I should be jamming. All my friends do also, but yeah, just a terrible situation. So yeah, across two sessions, played for about 5 or 6 hours. Made 150 the encore. Um, the Brook, I made 100 technically, but I was minus 200. I did actually have the high hand hold. But yeah, these are just some little clips of our time in Maine. It was beautiful. Me and my wife really enjoyed it. We went, ate at some great restaurants in Boston and in Maine. But yeah, here's what my motto is for future sessions. I don't believe in monsters, right? So I need to get the money in, guys, and you guys need to get the money in when you have overpairs. Yeah, sometimes they're going to have sets, and that just sucks and you lose. But you cannot just give them a miracle flop straight or a miracle random two pair. You know, and that's what I'm going to start doing. If I've got, an overpair, I'm just going to get the money in, guys. So yeah, that's what y'all should be doing too. So anyways, y'all enjoy the summer. I know I'm going to try to play a lot more hands and try to get more videos. So thank you so much for staying subscribed, and I wish you luck, and then I'll see you in the next video.